Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today. We are super excited for today's webinar. I know typically we usually have some colleges, some students, but today we really wanted to sit down, catch up with you all, and let you know, provide you all with some updates on some changes that you may have seen with College Greenlight. So again, thank you all for joining us and welcome for this lovely webinar Wednesday hosted by College Greenlight, powered by CapEx. We are here with a webinar series to support counselors and students through the college and scholarship process. And so I am your host, Erica Davis, Partner Relations Specialist here at College Greenlight. Just a little bit of background. We were launched in 2012 with our mission to close the information and opportunity gap by connecting students with valuable resources that will help make the college going process much easier and simpler for our students. So in terms of today's webinar, let's talk about a few housekeeping. So as you all know, on the right-hand side of your screen, you'll see our chat box. So feel free to engage with with each other, engage with me. Hello, everyone. Deidre, Lisa, Roberto, nice to see you all. So don't be shy. Introduce yourself. We'd love to know where you all are from. Also at the bottom of your screen, you'll see an Ask a Question box. Feel free to go ahead as we're talking today. If you have any questions, throw it in there. In the registration, you all did provide some questions that you had prior to coming. So we will be getting through most of them throughout the presentation, but I will also make sure at the end that I get to some of the questions that you all have asked. And also, if you need to leave early, no worries. You will receive a follow-up email after this with the replay of the video. So we definitely encourage you to stick around, but if you have to dip out, that is totally fine. And as you receive those recordings, feel free to share with your friends, your colleagues. Spread the word, spread the message. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the presentation that I have for you all. So just to provide you with a little bit of insight, I don't want to talk too much. I want to really spend a lot of time being able to get to your questions. So I'm going to provide a very quick, maybe 15-minute presentation on some of the updates that College Greenlight has gone through over the past few months, and some of the things that you can expect as a result of that. And then stick around towards the end. I'll also be able to provide you all with a little bit of preview for our upcoming scholarship marathon, which will be at the end of February. So let's go ahead and get started. And also we have Cassandra here with us in the chat from the College Greenlight team. So if you are having any troubles, feel free to throw in the chat and she will be able to get to you. So thank you, Cassandra, for being here. All right, so as I mentioned, today's webinar, a little bit of an agenda, as I talked about. We'll talk about the updates, plenty of time for Q&A, and then we'll talk about the scholarship marathon, and then more time for Q&A. All right, so starting strong, as you may know, we are now built into our parent company, CapEx. The slide that you see in front of you is an email that you would have received, I believe, end of last week or early this week, letting you know of this announcement. So students will now be using CapEx to log into their college and scholarship account. We will be porting current student accounts over come mid, in the next month. So your students will see that switch very soon, but we do have some updates on how you can get started with your new students, those rising juniors and seniors, on our new platform. So College Greenlight is built into the experience at CapEx, and these next few slides are really going to be able to explain what that looks like and what that means for you. So capex.com for your Greenlight students. We've built a unique registration path for our CBOs. We definitely understand the importance of still being able to make sure that your students are connected to resources that are reflective of their needs and their unique individual circumstances. So making sure that your students are connected to you, to your CBO on CapEx is the way to ensure that your students are receiving that experience that is designed for first-gen, low-income, underrepresented students. So when students are signing up using this unique registration path, and if you look at the animation that we have on the screen here, I use the example for one of our organizations, More Than Bootstraps. That is, capex.com/your unique CBO name, and it will bring students to that landing page that's letting them know that they are creating an account with CapEx in partnership with their organization, which you'll be able to see here, get started with CapEx in partnership with More Than Bootstraps. You'll see it in the next loop. When students are creating their accounts using that link, they are automatically connected to you, to your CBO, and they could just go ahead and get started. We've cut down that signing up process in order to make it simpler and easier for your students, and also to ensure that connection to the CBO. So some of the other advancements, so to speak, that we that we have undergone is through on capex.com. We have bigger and better resources, enhanced college profiles with a smarter college list building feature, with searching for colleges and scholarships. We have this advanced search feature that really will help students be able to find scholarships and find colleges that are unique and that would be a good fit for them. And then of course our scholarship database, bigger and better. And let's go ahead and take a dive into what that looks like. So I mentioned the advanced search feature. These tabs that you see opening up are those filters. So students are able to, as they are selecting the choices that they're making in those in the filters, it in real time will update this list that students see based off of the filter that they selected. So here under the more, a student could collect 100% meet need, and right now, as you just saw in real time, it updated that list. Same with any other check mark that any student makes. So this is our way of making sure that students are, again, being in tune with what it is that they need and what they want from their university. They'll be able to use these filters to be able to create that college list that they can begin to sift through instead of going through the 4,000 colleges available. Also, as students are learning about these colleges, they are adding them to their list. And as you can see here, they automatically categorize themselves to target, likely, in reach schools, as you can see here. As students are building this list, they can use this drop down to identify where they are in their application process in order to keep themselves organized. And overall, this is a place where students can just always go back to the schools that they're exploring, and as they are making their decisions. And they can use that See Recommendation link under each category in order to learn more about other schools that fall under that that categorization. And also keeping in mind this this left navigation pane, left navigation section where students can, as they are using the college, exploring colleges or looking for scholarships, they can always use that to be able to go back to other places. And again, as you can see, like things are responding like in real time. So much better interface, smarter functions. We really hope that your students will enjoy it. And then, of course, scholarships. The advanced feature exists there as well. As you can see, students can look for scholarships based off of their renewable status, which is super exciting. We want students to not only apply for and find amazing scholarships, but we want them to also make sure that they're getting as much money as possible, and those renewable scholarships are key to making sure that students have money semester over semester, year over year, to be able to continue persisting to that degree. And as you can see, there are other filters that students can use. Under the More tab is where students can really look for scholarships that are based off of who they are. So their LGBTQA plus status, or as we'll see in just a few, students who are undocumented will use the non-US citizen tab in order to find scholarships that are reflective of that. So this is and everything that we had at College Greenlight is still here. It just looks a little prettier. As you can see, students can see effort to apply and competition level. When they click on these cards, they are presented with that full information page breaking down like the deadline and eligibility requirements and things of that nature. So Greenlight plus capex, we were really able to build a really good website, and that's really where this merger came into place, is making sure that we are best utilizing our resources to give you all the best resources possible. And so thank you. I will pause here to say thank you to our community for all of the feedback, all of the work that you've all put in partnering with us and being patient with us, because we are able to bring you this great website, and it's also like built in a way where we can continue to build upon it, and with our continued partnership be able to continue to flesh out a website that really is going to help your students. So we just talked about students using capex for their college's scholarship searching efforts, but what does that mean for Greenlight? And actually this question popped up in the registration a couple of times of like, so what does this mean for College Greenlight? So College Greenlight will continue to be a resource for our CBO community and our amazing college access advocates. So while capex is for students, Greenlight is for you all. So you can continue to rely on us as an extension of your team. We're still working on program lists like our fly-in program, 100% Meet Needs list, professional development webinars. Here we are today. When conferences start working again, we will be at your conference at your local NACYAC or NCAN, so stay tuned. And then also programming for your students, as well as our college networking and matchmaking services, making sure that you all are also connecting with our college partners and being able to advocate for your students through those relationships. Everything that counselors need are in front of the firewall. So something that you may have noticed is they're using your current College Greenlight credentials, you'll be unable to log into capex because, again, capex is for students. So all of your counselor resources are available on the public site. As you can see at capex.com on the top navigation bar, we have a Greenlight section. There you'll be able to find those program lists, a list of webinars, our past webinars and upcoming webinars, learn more about our college partners and how to work with us to connect with colleges. And then also our mission page. You can continue to stay up to date on what we're doing, why we do what we do. And if you're new here, new with College Greenlight, this is also where you would go in order to fill out that registration page, that registration to join the College Greenlight community and be a part of our CBO directory so that you can benefit from a lot of these services that we have offered. And something that I didn't say explicitly, but I will say it right now, we are still free for counselors, free for students. So everything that we did before, we're doing today, and it's still free. So it's bringing up the CBO directory. We are still connecting you to colleges with our CBO directory. And I provided a link for getting to that page directly. If you are new here and you're looking to set up a CBO profile, actually I'll provide a little bit of background. Our CBO profiles are basically a snapshot of the amazing work that you all do. So we use that CBO profile to basically brag to our colleges about all the work that you all are doing and why they should think about and talk about connecting with other CBOs in order to streamline this process and also promote student success through every stage of the process. So if you are new and you want to join the fray, you can follow this link here in order to access that registration form. And if you already have a CBO profile and you are looking to make updates, there have been some changes, also feel free to use that following link in order to let us know what those changes are, and we'll make those within 24 hours. So there are a lot of, as you can see, a lot of exciting things. So wrapping this up in a bow, these are all good things, good for everyone. So we have a new and updated platform for your students, less headache for you all, not having to worry about logins, and you can access these resources without. And then also, we at the College Greenlight team can focus more on supporting you and delivering meaningful events and content. So always remember that we are here to help. And like I said before, think of us as an extension of your team. So to remind everyone, CapEx is for students. College Greenlight is for our CBOs and our counselors. You can see some links here for students. We do have that a general signing up process where they could just go to capex.com/greenlight-student, and they will, begin the signing up process. In that signing up process, they will be asked what CBO that they work with. But in order to make sure that students don't miss that step, reach out to us to get that unique registration link so that your students can sign up with the least amount of hassle as possible, and making sure that they are being connected so that they are receiving that green light experience, so to speak. So that is limited ads, no for-profit promotion, and then also reduced just like spam, so to speak, where students will only receive opportunities that are a good fit for them. So just wanting to show you all who we have here at the College Greenlight team. Cassandra in the chat. She's our account manager and partner success. And Jonathan April, our fearless leader. And then myself, Erica, the partner relations specialist. If you have any questions for any of us, feel free to reach out at info@collegegreenlight.com. And we will be right there to help you. And then we do have one other piece of news, and you definitely may have heard of this. We made an announcement back in September. College Greenlight with CapEx is now a part of EAB, which is an important company in the higher education space. They do amazing work with colleges and high schools and students, and we are really excited to be a part of this growing community. And they're super excited to be able to help us grow the impact of College Greenlight. So that is all the information I have for that today. But stay tuned. We will definitely have more information on what this partnership really looks like. And we're excited to let you know about the new and great things that we are going to be up to. All right. So let's do a little bit of Q&A. I'm going to go ahead and minimize this PowerPoint so that I can see you all. And let's get to some questions. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this box. Is there any way to connect an existing CapEx account to our CBO? Joanna. So yes, you can. When students create their accounts on CapEx, if they're creating a general account / if they already have a CapEx account, all they will need to do is go into their student profile, which is very similar to the student profile that we had on our last site, and they will see under high school academics, extracurricular activities. And there is where they will find that drop-down list of CBOs that we work with, and they can select their CBO there. So great question, thank you. Can students connect to their counselor through CapEx? So that is a really great question. We'll spend a lot of time answering this because this was definitely one of the biggest questions, and I also see in the chat that this is a big question. So I mentioned that counselors do not need to they don't have a login experience on CapEx. And the reason for that is through our research and talking to our CBOs, what we learned is that while the tracking and reporting, like having that counselor center was really helpful for a lot of counselors. It overall was like, it became like a little bit more of a hassle than a benefit, I guess. And so the way that we address that solution is, one, instead of having to access those resources behind in a law experience, you can instead access it on the public site. And then also the site on College Greenlight on capex is very like intuitive for students. So you can really rely on students being able to navigate the site pretty seamlessly without having to worry about like helicoptering the situation. So we do not have the ability for students to connect to their counselor specifically. They're connecting to the overall CBO. Great questions. And I'm sure that, let me actually take a second to look in the chat box to see if there's any iterations of that question, because I know that that's a big question. Okay, so yes. So here's a question. If counselors don't have an account, how are we able to see our student profile and progress in the system? Is that no longer a feature? Sorry if I missed anything. I like the way you phrase this question. It really is, like, I can answer this simply. No, we no longer have that feature. And instead, students are creating their accounts and navigating the site like on their own. All right, so let me get to another question. Let's see. Here's a quick question I can answer. What is the full words for EAB? It is, I had to write this down, Education Advisory Board. So I think that that's, it's pretty self-explanatory. EAB is an educational consultant, so to speak. So they work with many high school districts, many colleges in order to help those institutions be better informed and have better tools in order to help students succeed, you know, to, through, and then even beyond college. All right. Is there a way to connect? Oh, wait, sorry, I got to that question. I wonder how such data analytics will pivot when this test data point is eliminated to predict reach. That is a really good question. I actually will just like jot this down. I think that that is a good question for us to be mindful of as we are monitoring this information. We know that there's a lot of changes and we are not, you know, ignoring that whatsoever. And we're just trying to, as things learn from those things and make sure that we are updating our products accordingly. So all of your amazing articles will they be in capex for students? So yes, our articles will still be available. You will be able to find them on the public site on the Resource Center. And students, while they have a login experience, they definitely should still navigate that Resource Center so that they can also, you know, like students, while our tools are designed for counselors, because we want to make sure that we're providing you all with resources that you can pass along to your students. There are also a lot of students that we work with who are they're kind of independent counseling themselves because they may live in an area where they may not have access to a consistent counselor, or they attend a overcrowded high school and they're really like bootstrapping and trying to figure it out for themselves. So everybody will be able to find those articles on the capex public website. Here's a question. Do students need to switch their existing College Greenlight accounts to capex? So I did answer that in the presentation, but to reiterate, students will not need to switch their account. If they already have a College Greenlight account, they will be automatically ported over and they will be automatically capex accounts. So your students don't have to worry about anything today. You don't have to worry about anything today about helping existing students transition into capex. So thank you. Yes, we will continue to have our fly-in program list. As you all know, there's a lot of things in flux with flying programs, with the fact that we are not / maybe should not be flying. But we are being sure to keep you all updated with various what's what I'm looking for, virtual events that colleges are hosting throughout the country. So check your emails, stay in tune with that. Your students are also getting those notifications as well. So as virtual fly-in programs are coming in, we are letting you all know. But the unfortunate thing for this year is that colleges are kind of learning as they're going as well, and they may not have like these virtual events like super ready all the time, and they may come like weeks in advance and things of that nature. So we're learning about them as they're creating them, but as soon as we learn about them, we will be sure to let you know. This is a good question, and thank you, Ellen, for answering it. A CBO is a community-based organization. Just to provide you additional, like the way we define CBO is basically any organization, any nonprofit organization. So we do, a part of our mission is to support underrepresented students and the organizations that work with them. And so those organizations are often like nonprofit, and we want to make sure that people who need reliable resources have access to them. So we really do prefer and want to work with organizations that are within the nonprofit realm, because we understand that you all are, need the resources the most. But any organization or charter school that is working with at least one student who is first generation, low income, underrepresented, is a CBO for us. And if that is you who are not registered in our database, then get on that today. And then the last question I see here, if a student already has an account with College Greenlight, will they need to make a new account? And again, the answer is no. Students can, they will see themselves in the capex experience once we port them over in the next month. And what is I like this question. What is the purpose of sharing a personalized link with students if we are able to see who's in our group? That is a great question. And actually this pairs really well with another comment that I saw. Let me see. I believe the question was, will colleges see the students? And so the reason why we want students to connect to the CBO, even though the CBO is not able to see the students that are connected, is first and foremost to ensure that students are receiving that premium experience as a Greenlight student. So I guess taking a step back, capex is, a large college and scholarship website that supports any and all students to find their best fit college. Greenlight is that for first gen underrepresented low students. So we want to make sure that those students are still receiving that Greenlight experience, and the way to ensure that is that they are connected to a CBO, since that is the group that we are supporting. So connecting to the CBO first, make sure that they're not receiving ads that are not related or important to them. They're not seeing no for-profit colleges, and they're being matched, so to speak, with opportunities that are reflective of who they are individually. So that's the first reason why you want to make sure that students are still connecting to their CBO. So whether that is through general signing up or using that personalized link, that is that. And then also too, we do want to make sure that when we are connecting with our colleges and we're connecting them with you all, that we are providing them with like a full picture of who you are and who you support and why they should care about you. And so being able to show that like this organization has 50 students that are really trying to connect with you really is another like tool for us to be able to best advocate for who you all are. I saw a question that literally just came in through my peripheral. Which personalized link? What did I miss? So these personalized links, let me actually go ahead and bring back up my PowerPoint. so that I can show you all that. So the personalized links are links that you all have in order to ensure that your students are properly connecting to your CBO. Give me 1 second. I low-key have to go all the way back to the beginning. Okay, so right here. So you'll see in this like image here, oops. Here we go. That when you use this personalized link, so capex.com / the example I use, more than bootstraps, when that student clicks enter, they will see here, get started with capex in partnership with more than bootstraps. So the personalized link is basically the best and easiest way to make sure your students are connecting to CBO. Awesome. Okay, let me go through. Cassandra, thank you so much for your help in the chat. I'm going to scroll all the way to the top. I want to make sure that I'm getting to any questions. Can you filter on the year when we did it? Okay, so as I mentioned, there is not a counselor center, so you will not have to worry about that. Can we register as a school counselor? I was only allowed to register as a high school student or a college student. So our CBOs, if you are part of like a charter school network, definitely please join the fray. But for high school counselors, you can log in the general way, and there are for your students, and they will still be able to experience have the same experience. The similar Greenlight experience for when they log in. So for clarification, when signing up as a CBO, we do want to make sure that you are that these criteria, so to speak, are being met. So like you're a nonprofit, public organization or charter school. So public high schools do not fit under that categorization. But thank you so much for the clarification. Just because you're a high school counselor, you still can and should help your students utilize the site. All right, let me see. Are colleges able to answer that? I can send this presentation post once we're done here. So thank you, Ruby. Okay, so another question about the fact that counselors do not have accounts. So even though counselors will not have like a see your student account feature, we definitely still encourage you all to create student accounts for yourselves so that as your students are using Greenlight, you know what they're seeing and you can help navigate them through what it is that they're looking at if need be. So you are definitely still welcome to create create an account under your organization using your email if you want to see things from your students' point of view. So please, 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 that is more than welcome for you all to do. And I see that some more questions are posted here. Let's see. Okay. And then now I'm about to shift my eye line to the registration questions. And I want to make sure that I'm getting to any question that we haven't gotten to. So there were some people who were like, I'm just generally trying to understand what you're going to say. And I really hope that you all, that your question has been answered and that you are getting a general understanding of the new site, how to navigate it, and what these features are. So thank you all for showing up. Let's see. So to reiterate, this was a question, will there be a different platform experience for users? Yes, that is what I've been explaining. Making sure that your students are connected to the CBO, it will trigger that new experience, that different experience compared to our capex users. Someone said they're just looking for that 100% me need list. Stay tuned. Let's see. Someone's wondered, like, one question is, will they receive information via email? And the question is yes. So a question that I anticipate anticipated was, what does that mean for my counselor account? And so we will not have the counselor center or the counselor experience, but you are still subscribed to our email list, so you will still receive updates about College Greenlight, opportunities from College Greenlight, and then announcements from our colleges, and also like updates on different events that are happening throughout the space that could be a benefit for you and your students. So yes, if you had a counselor account, then you will still be in the loop through our emails. And if you, again, are new here, go make sure that you go visit us at capex.com. Go ahead and go to that Greenlight tab, and you will find how to get started if you're new. Okay, I like this question. Where is the fit section of the CapEx page? So the fit section exists kind of throughout it, and this is why I encourage you all to kind of create your own account / feel free to like poll your students and look over their shoulders and see what they're seeing, because the fit section kind of exists throughout the site, and it is labeled under My CapEx Insight. So just as in the last site, students are creating, they're setting up their student profile so that we can make sure that we're giving them personalized results on the colleges and the scholarships that they're seeing. And so again, students are identifying their preferences, who they are, what they are looking for in a college. And as they are looking at college profiles, they will see like little CapEx insights. Like, you said that you were interested in a small school. This is not a small school. And students will be able to see that as they're navigating through each profile and throughout the website. So that is like how fit translated into this new world on CapEx. So really excited about that. I feel like it definitely makes sure that wherever the student is, they are constantly learning information that is relevant to their unique situation about that college or that scholarship. Thank you, Peggy. Any features not yet live that you were hoping to add or adapt from the old site. I love that. So I can't. I don't want to like say too much in terms of like say something and we'll see how it goes, but there definitely are. So one of them is what's the word I'm looking for, campus life. So that was something we had on the O site, students being able to learn about like organizations that are on campus and feedback, reviews from students. That is something that is on the docket in our parking lot of something that we would like to build out in this new in our new world. So yes, there are definitely features that will be to come. As I mentioned earlier in the presentation, the way that the site is built, and I'm talking about like from the architect point of view, it is now much easier for us to be able to create new features and be able to build upon the platform that we have today. So not only will there be new features, there will be new features because we can like do it now. The old site was built under old coding language that is not really used in the industry today. So now we are like up to speed, up to date, and we'll be able to provide these new features. And of course, we also want to continue to pulse you all and learn about the things that could make your students' lives easier, and using that as using that information to inform the future features and updates that we'll be making. So thank you. As an Idaho person who really liked the maps showing how few students from Idaho were at college, that was really important. Is that still there? So I'm gonna write this down, Peggy. Thank you for that. I don't know off the top of my head, but I want to find out, and I will let you know later. Sorry that I do not have that answer today or right now, like in this moment. Okay, let me look back at this list. I just want to double check to make sure that I'm getting to your questions. Let's see. All right, yeah, that looks just about it. That looks just about it. So if there are any other questions, oh, wait, I do see some more questions. My bad. Excuse me. Where is the CBO directory in the new site? Will colleges be able to see the directory for outreach? Okay, that is a great question. I will start by saying the CBO directory, like the new CBO directory, is still in production. So there's still, it's not currently live. So the old CBO directory is still available. So if you find, like, as you're finding your public pages and seeing your CBO profile, you can definitely still see that, and colleges still have access to that. And so the CBO directory on the new site, again, this is a great question, but I will say TBD because we are still working on that project. Thank you. And Christina, no, you did not miss the scholarship marathon. Once I get through the rest of these questions, then we will definitely jump right into that. So I am scrolling up to make sure, and I see another question. Is that old website still functioning? Will it migrate to capex.com? And she's, Ellen is referring to the www.collegegreenlight.com. It is still functioning today. It will not be functioning soon. We will be, what's the word I'm looking for? Redirecting that College Greenlight URL to capex. So in the next month, the www.collegegreenlight.com website that we all know and love will not be working, to answer plainly. But it is still functioning today. So if you have students in there or any reports that you want to go ahead and pull now, do that now, before mid-February. Thank you. Okay, let me see. Okay, I think, oh, wait, another one. Do you assign CEUs for the professional development webinars for counselors? I'm sorry, Irene, you're going to have to let me know what CEU is. I can let you know because we have received questions on, like, do we give out like credits or a like certificate or something of that nature? The answer is no to that today. We really serve as like a public professional development opportunity that any counselor or student can use for like their personal development in the topics that we're sharing. So if I'm not answering that question in the right way, Irene, definitely let me know. But from what I understand of your question, we do not offer any credits or certificates. Thank you. Oh, and you did clarify. Yes. All right, so we are at 2:42. Thank you all for all of the questions. Also, the questions don't have to stop today. There's been a lot of changes and a lot of things that's been going on, and we have just really been working hard to be ready for today, to be able to say, all right, these are the changes. We are in it now, and we have our systems ready to go in order to receive you all, in order to make sure that you are transitioning through this transition as seamlessly as possible. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and answer this last question, and then we're just going to go to the next slide to preview the scholarship marathon. So can't remember right now, but new scholarship formats still show how much competition there are and how easy it is to apply. And the answer to that is yes. Just yes, we do. All right, so thank you all again for all your questions. For some reason, I enjoyed being able to make sure I'm being able to answer your questions. And again, I will still be here to answer your questions. Again, you can email us at info@collegegreenlight.com. I'm actually the one that manages that inbox, so you will be talking to me directly, and I can definitely make sure to both share your registration links. Again, that's like, reach out to us if you have any questions, if you need to get that link from us, and also if you just have any questions in general as you're understanding and learning this new world that we live in. Okay, and let's go ahead and go to our next slide. Sorry, y'all. Okay. All right. So preview the Greenlight Scholarship Marathon. We do this every year. This year is no different. So on February 27th, between the hours of 9 a.m. and 3 p.m., stay tuned. Like, one, I would say stay tuned for more details. But it might be 5 p.m. But, and you know what we see here, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Students will, just like every other time, be able to submit proof of the various things that they've done to get themselves to day one of the college that's right for them. So that could be completed scholarship applications, college applications, proof of completed FAFSA. Also, I mean, we know that students probably haven't been like at college fairs or campus tours this year, but if they attended like a virtual, like what's what I'm looking for? A virtual informational on a college, or they went to a virtual college fair and they like have proof that, you know, like a registration, like completed registration, or even if they like for whatever reason took a selfie of themselves in front of the computer at that event, all of that counts as acceptable entries in order to both win hourly gift raffles. So throughout the day, as students are submitting their entries, every hour we'll raffle off a gift card for students that have submitted entries. And then at the end of the event, we will award a random winner a $1,000 scholarship, tuition scholarship. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You can use this link below, which I can actually share in the chat box, so that you can sorry. Just want to make sure that you all have all the information you need in order to prepare your students for the scholarship marathon. Here we go. All right, so here are the official rules to the scholarship marathon for your students. All right, so yes, there are a few rule changes, so you do want to make sure that you read through that. So of course, one of the biggest rule changes is before we had any student with a completed college Greenlight account, but now it's a completed capex account. And you also want to make sure that your student is connected to your CBO. So again, request that registration link, share that registration link. And if you do have students that are on college who are on capex, they can also retroactively connect to your CBO, going into their student profile and finding you under extracurricular activity. So that's like the big difference. That, of course, just because, you know, we're doing different things. But overall, we are here to bring you a great event per usual. So as you see here, February 27th, between the hours of let's just say starting at 9 a.m. Central, students will be able to begin submitting those entries and be able to put their hat in the ring for either a gift card or a scholarship. And then also you can expect from College Greenlight throughout the month of February with various scholarship announcements and things to help get you all pumped and help your students be able to stay engaged throughout the month of February to complete these scholarships. It's a critical time for free money. As all time, it's critical for free money, but we really want to make sure that students are getting the money that they need today. So stay tuned. Again, as I mentioned, you guys are all on our email list, so you will receive more updates to come. And you will also hear various announcements from us through social and, again, email about this upcoming event. So I'm going to go ahead and head back to the main stage with you all. Are there any questions about the scholarship marathon. All right, so let me see. All right, there is a question that came in. Please provide the link for the CBOs to sign in. I'm having, okay, so I did mention that CBOs do not have a sign-in experience. So if on capex, if you do have an existing CBO account and you're trying to get into the account today, the College Greenlight website is still available. So you can still log into your counselor account and be able to like download any last minute reports or things of that nature. But for in our new home at capex, you will not need to worry about having to sign in as a counselor or as a CBO. I hope I answered your question, Terhanda, and I hope I pronounced your name right. Megan, we have, will student accounts be migrated before the marathon? Yes. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That is the hard goal that we have ahead of us. And it is, and of course, in preparation of the scholarship marathon, wanting to make sure that students have what they need in order to participate. Okay, any questions about the scholarship marathon? Any questions about Greenlight updates? Again, for all of you who stuck around, thank you so much. I definitely just super encourage you all to stop by, go to capex.com/Greenlight, and you'll be able to learn everything. You'll be able to see everything I just talked about today right in front of you. We are live on Capex. And then also, please feel free to create a student account so that you are seeing what your students are seeing as well, if that's something that will be helpful or beneficial to you. So thank you all. We have 8 minutes to spare, so I'm gonna kind of stick around if there are any questions. Also, before we go, super sorry. I would love to, get additional feedback from you all. So at the bottom of your screen, you will see a green button that will pop up that says Webinar Feedback Survey. Please, I would really appreciate it if you guys filled that out so that we can continue to learn about how these changes are going for you all and how you felt about the webinar. So thank you. Yeah, I'll sit and stick around in case there are any last minute questions. And once you access that webinar feedback survey, feel free to enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Be safe, drink water, and have a good rest of your week.